Well, what exactly can this money do for people impacted by Superstorm Sandy? Scott Major is a national disaster insurance expert, and he joins us live this morning for some feedback. And Scott, if you suffered home or property damage, what is step one? What do you do now?
It's great, Bill, that they've passed the money, to allow you to get to that asset. The most important thing now is to be aggressive about reporting your claim and following up and saying, I want to get paid my money, making sure you have sufficient documentation, sufficient expert reports, and a sufficient estimate that explains all of your damages.
All right, so you have to presume you've already been in contact with your insurance company, right? Do you reach out to the
Correct.
government at all, or you find a website that they might provide guidance?
Well, there are. FEMA does have a website, for example. Their national flood insurance websites. The most important thing about this is to start writing letters and get a hold of your agent, your representative, and say, listen, here's my estimate again. I need to get my money right now. What can you do to help me to get my money? And you can contact either through 800 numbers or through email and be aggressive about it. What people don't realize is that sometimes you need to have more detailed estimates, and maybe your money's just being held up because of that.
Okay, so who actually controls the purse strings then? Who would I get a check from, for example?
Well, it comes through the government. It's, managed by insurance companies because the government is not really an insurance company, but it's coming directly from the government.
All right, let's say that President Obama signs this in the next day or so. How soon might a homeowner or property owner have a check in hand?
Well, there are already monies out there. They just don't have enough of that. What this is going to do is just add to the pot. I think the most important concern is to know whether or not this money is going to flow out as quickly as it should. When you have the bureaucratic process, sometimes you get the bill passed and you get the money, and then you have the status quo. What I'm hoping is that this will be a launching pad for the government to really do some great things and to start paying more money more quickly to more residents who have been directly impacted by the property damages that they've suffered as a result of the storm.
We're speaking with Scott Major. He's a national disaster insurance expert. So do you actually have to spend the money, I guess, on the damage, on repairing the damage you suffered?
Generally speaking, you do. There are some exceptions, like, for example, if you need to demolish your home or if you need to elevate your home. But generally speaking, yes, the money's designed, for that purpose. Now, there are other types of relief, such as alternative housing, getting food, things like that you still will also be entitled to. But the concept is it really needs to be Sandy-related efforts.
All right. So what if you feel you've been ripped off or, treated unfairly with your paperwork?
The most important thing is to make sure you have sufficient documentation in the form of lots of letters that have been written explaining how it is that you haven't gotten your money. In other words, are people coming out and then not paying you? Have they not explained exactly why they're not paying your full estimate? Do you have a detailed estimate? And what I mean by that is not just having a simple one-page thing done by a general contractor, but a line-item estimate done by an expert that will exactly state each damage in each aspect of the room or property. If you go and take that and say, listen, I'm not getting paid, please explain in writing exactly which damages you're not paying and what the scientific support for such damages are, you'll start to help yourself immensely. The most important thing is to document and be aggressive about writing everything that's been told to you or been promised to you.
Can you expect to get back every dollar that you might have lost here, Scott?
Generally speaking, the answer is no, but I would not suggest to you that you have to take a compromise. The most important thing about that is to make sure your estimate is detailed and that you have a scientific or engineering report with it so that you can say, I'm entitled to every dollar because I have the science here showing that it was caused by the storm.
Yeah.
Please either pay me or tell me why I can't get that money. And that sets you up for appeals and for possible litigation if people don't pay. And that's generally one of the greatest ways to get max dollars the quickest.
Very good. Hey, thanks for a few minutes. Appreciate it. Scott Major, national disaster insurance expert, with us live this morning talking about that Superstorm Sandy aid package passed by the Senate last night.